you wanted the best, you've got the best podcast, the hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. This is Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There are ladies things that makes it official. Welcome to the big show. As always, the Chris Voss Show is a family that loves you, but doesn't judge you, at least not as harshly as the rest of your family, because we teach you how to live a better life, how to enjoy your life, how to improve it, and all that good stuff. We have the guests, authors, minds on the show that can help you do that as well. Opinions expressed by guests on the podcast are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the host or the Chris Voss Show. Some guests of the show may be advertising on the podcast, but it is not an endorsement or review of any kind. Today's featured author comes to us from bookstolifemarketing.co.uk. With expert publishing to strategic marketing, they help authors reach their audience and maximize their book success. Today we have an amazing young lady on the show. We're going to be talking to her book called Christ is in Me, The Hope of Glory, Victory, the Autobiography of Salma, Carunia, Carter, out December 5th, 2024. Welcome to the show, Salma. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you for having me in your show. And more thanks goes to Sam Collin, who prepared me.
There you go.
Every day for this show.
Awesome sauce. We love it. So give us your .coms. Where do you want people to find you on the interwebs to get to know you better?
And it's Salma Carunia and drbenmcarter.com.
There you go. So give us a 30,000 overview. What's inside your new book?
The book that I wrote is my story. My book narrates my bio. It's my biography. And it's not just my biography. It actually captures all the small and big details of the historical era of 17th, 18th, 19th century. Because the mother who adopted me, started this orphanage on 1800.
Mm-hmm.
So this year we will be celebrating 125 years of the orphanage. It's still running.
Uh-huh.
I'm one of them. We were thousands of orphan boys and girls.
Oh, wow. So this is a story that's about your life. Give us a little bit of insight into how you were raised and some of the challenges you overcame.
It is the story of a little girl growing to an adulthood in the biblical grounded orphanage in South India called Dohnavur Fellowship, founded by Amy Carmichael from Belfast, Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
And she, started it initially for the girls and boys, those who don't have any home.
Mm-hmm.
They needed a home.
Uh-huh.
But the first orphan who came to her ran away from the Hindu temple.
Mm-hmm.
India is predominantly Hinduism,
Mm-hmm.
and the high caste Brahmins believe they have to dedicate their children, firstborn or something to the temple. Now, where do we see this? We see Samuel was dedicated to the temple, and so Eli, the priest, raised Samuel in the Bible. But these are Hindus, and the priests are Hindu priests, and these girls were trained to dance in front of the gods made by wood and stones. So that's how this orphanage started. But my story is, When I was born, 1944, Second World War time, my mother died at childbirth.
Oh, no. Giving birth to you or one of your siblings?
Yeah, there was 4 boys I heard later on, but nothing was recorded. So it's going to be interesting story. It is not only that Americans in 21st century encountered the other American who came from such unique beginnings as myself. I was born prematurely, less than 3 pounds.
Oh, wow.
My
How
mother
many months
died
premature?
at childbirth. And there was no...
Sure. How early
less
was
than
your
3
birth?
pounds. It's good.
How many months were you into the pregnancy when you were?
See, I'm an orphan, so nothing was recorded.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So but you just know
Amy
you're
Carmichael never recorded anything.
Yeah. You would have been probably,
I
4 or
saw
5
that
months
in
early?
Nothing was said in my medical record. It says, very few pounds, so less than 3 pounds, but very active baby. That's all written about my birth.
Okay.
And then I was blessed to be taken by Amy Carmichael, where she hired, wet nurses. So I had 2 wet nurses that I know, because as I grew older, I still saw them, because they keep coming to, wean other children, other babies from the nearby villages. And we had no electricity, no shoes, no running water, no indoor toilets, no toilet papers, use only water to clean ourselves and everything. A very plain diet, strict rules on dress, bedtime, etc. But of course, it's an orphanage, so that kind of a life.
You gotta have some rules.
Very strict rules. And we had sometimes home school, and dairy farms, fruit trees, and 10 years old tamarind trees around the compound, where I used to climb up because I always wanted to touch the sky. So
really?
I will be way up there, but they were 100 years old. And we were regulated, by the clock tower and the church bells.
Okay.
Marked each and every day routine.
There you go. So give us. So you talked the journey. Is there? You titled the book, "That Christ is in Me." Is there a point that you found religion through your work or through your living?
Yes.
Tell us about what that was like.
Okay, I was. There was hundreds of us. In that orphanage. It's a very large orphanage, and in the school. Home school, there are 100 children, but I was kind of a black sheep, because I was very, energetic, climbing on the trees and the roofs and all that. But these missionaries are from England, Scotland, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, and Germany. Some German sisters we had. So it's very strict that we were raised, But so it will be where I come from is the school teachers, kind of, had a lot of influence on us, and the authority was very, very strong. Sometimes they could and did alter one's life. And my life was altered when I was, 7th grade. I repeated the 7th grade. And then when I went to see the result April, it says not promoted. So second time, I failed. But I was not knowing my fate. So I was called to the Mother Superior, that's an Irish lady, and she said, you are not going to boarding school, but you're going to be put into hard labor. So one whole year, my punishment was working in the garden. So I was only 14 years old. I was still a child. And then when I was in the garden, June 1st, I have to start working in the garden. But all the girls that were with me, June 1st, they all packed their trunks and gone to boarding school. And there I was left behind. 15 of them have gone. I'm the only one there with my house mother. So that day I went to the garden. I have to now start my punishment year. And when I was, digging weeds at the tomato patches, I was facing the morning sun, and the beautiful yellow mango tree was standing near the, irrigation wall, and the sun rays were falling on me, while I was weeding. And however, my body and my mind and soul were groaning and travailing together. The whole creation around me seems to groan and travail in pain together. Romans 8:22 says that. At the same time, something was happening to me, to my body, when my mind was processing this fate of my life throughout this whole year. My spirit was crying, Abba, Father, the only Father I know as an orphan, is Jesus Christ, the Heavenly Father, for I am an orphan. It says in Romans 3:28 that not only the creation, even we groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, the redemption of our body. I'm an orphan, so the father is a very important figure. I don't know the father's love. I don't know the mother, but I knew God was my father. In the garden, while I was there, I felt that my body, mind, and soul were working together. Even though God has made us in three parts that functions differently, our body is mortal. Man is subject to death. And the mind, the part of man that thinks, feels, wills, reasons, understands, perceives, and experiences emotions, will also die with the body. But there is another part of me, is the spirit, which is immortal and will live forever, eternally. Because Genesis says that God breathed into man, and man became a living soul. So hardly I worked for an hour, I started feeling sick. Now my mind, body, spirit, all are working together. My body was started, to feeling sick, and I was started to throw up. And then I ended up in the hospital, but I was sent back home to rest. Well, the rest, what happened, they can read that. But actually, my faith started when I was in 4th grade reading Pilgrim Progress by John Bunyan. And that gave me, the order for my life. If I only trust God. When Christian and Faithful was in the dungeon, they were beaten by the giant. But every day they came to the door, but, they couldn't open the door. One day Christian said, I'm going to die then, the giant beating me every day. I can't bear this. But then the Faithful said, well, we'll wait and see what God can do for us. And suddenly, Faithful found a little Bible in his pocket. So they went to the gate, and read the scripture, and the gate opened it. So a lot of people are in trouble. But if you trust God, and his word, there is an escape, route there.
There you go.
So
And so you found that kind of in your thing. How did the rest of that shape your life and influence you? You talk about this in your book. How did that shape and influence you in your future and what you were trying to do with it?
And then, I said that, I was set free from the work. I found not guilty. And I sang, Jesus paid it all to him I owe. Sin had let the crimson stain. He washed me white as snow. So now something happened. And that same year, when I had my birthday, I was kneeling on we don't have bed. We had a, straw mat. At 9:00 at night, I knelt, on my straw mat. That's my birthday. And I said, Lord, I give everything to you. I'm punished, but I still believe you. You set me free from that. And, he washed, I asked forgiveness. And all of a sudden, there is something went through me like a lightning. And that was the power wash of Christ's blood, And ever since, I tell you the truth, something changed. Next day, I went to the garden to work, but I felt I'm not walking, walk as a shame. I've been walking, walk of a shame every day because I was taken out of the, order from the schoolgirls. So I felt somebody is with me now. Never, ever will leave. So God, came to me and I came to know him as my personal savior and, the omnipresence, the presence of the Lord with you, makes a difference in this world. And next year, I was sent to boarding school. I was baptized, and some other things happened in the boarding school. And then, that people have to read that. What more? Every time something happened, there's a miracle happened. God has shown me, that there is a miracle. The mystery was revealed it to me on that day, of November 23, 1959. The mystery was Christ is in me, the hope of glory. Now I can live victoriously. I have hope. Somebody's going to be with me. Christ is within me. And that started on 1959, November the 23rd. And that took my journey. And I finished high school, but I wanted to be a teacher, but I couldn't get to a teacher's training for 8 years. I waited, but finally I got the typing, secretarial training. But then the Mother Superior who punished me for the year now felt different about me. And so she sent me to Bible college, so I went to the seminary and 2 years course, I finished there. And when I went to the, graduation forward, God has given me, do the work of an evangelist, fulfill your ministry. And that hit me so hard. I came home and told the Mother Superior, I don't want to go out to work as a secretary. Send me as a missionary. And she said, no. Missionaries can't earn their bread. I'm an orphan. I'm living in the beneficiary of the orphanage. Now I have to go out and earn my own bread. Oh. So finally, everything, there's more things happened. Read it in the book. And finally, I was sent to work way up in Himalayas, and I'm already 28 years old. I never earned a penny, whole life. I have
28
nothing.
years old. Wow.
28 years old, I've been, kept in the orphanage. And when I was given, a chance to go out and hold a job, and they pack a trunk, but I had no money to take with me. I have no purse, nothing.
Wow.
But the only thing is, because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Because he lives, all fear is gone. Because I know who holds the future. And life is worth of living just because he lives. And this is all I have. Nothing else but the one who lives and one who is with me. Christ is in me, the hope of glory. And then I worked as a child evangelist there, as well as I was a dean, in a boarding school. It's an English school. So I developed my speaking English there. And finally, one day, something very strange happened. When I was taking my devotion in the morning, all the books that I read, Streams in the Desert, and some of Amy Carmichael's devotional books and all. And it says to me, God said to me, I have a plan for you. I said, God, I just came over here. I love these children. I love this, child evangelism. I'm doing it in this school. And, these children are from other countries. Most of them are from Thailand, and half of them are Tibetans, because when China invaded Tibet, this school opened up for the Tibetans to come and, study here. So I have a lot of different children, different language speaking, but it's an English school. So I loved my job. But one day when I had this, God said, I couldn't, accept because I'm enjoying my life here. But I went to, on my knees and said, okay, Lord, thy will be done. And then I got out my knees and went to the next, staff who was looking after the other, group of children. And I told her, she was from Australia. Her name is Diane. And I told her, Diane, God has told me this morning that some plans that he had for me, so I'll see what comes in my, mail today. So we went, that day we went, for a town, it's a Himalayas. You have to climb 2-3 mountains to go to the town to get some groceries. And then she asked me any letters from, saying anything. I said, no, nothing came. I read everything. And then we were coming inside the schoolyard. The children were playing there. And the teachers were sitting on the bench. And one of the teacher name is Thomas. And Thomas called me, said, Salma, come over here. I said, yes, what do you have to say, Mr. Thomas? And he said, last night God told me that tell Salma she has to go to a Bible college. I said, what are you talking? I already went to a Bible seminary in South India. And he said, this time you have to go abroad. I said, oh, abroad? I'm an orphan. I have nothing. I have no money. I'm just earning little money over here, and saving it to go home every year and come back, So he said, I couldn't go to sleep after this. This is a prophecy that I needed to deliver it. Now I delivered it, So Diane and I went back to our dormitories, and she said, Salma, you did tell me this morning God told you he had a plan for you. And this is the plan. So, if you walk closer to God, he, the steps of a good man is ordered by the Lord, the Bible says. So, but now I cannot make passport, I have no, parents to sign my passport or anything. But that was a, very big story. And my faith has to, stay on the Lord, that I know.
There you
So
go.
I finally one day, I thought maybe I could do it. So I sent some papers, I asked papers from government, Delhi, passport office, send me some papers. And I filled it out, but I can't fill it. The father's, the guarantor or any, that line. So I was sending it without it. And they have sent me another one, 3-4 times. So when I went home, winter time, the missionaries or the orphanage who is in charge of me, my guarantors, they refused to sign it. So I only have God. Who can I go to? And 3 years passed, and there is a man who wanted to help me, but I refused because he was a Hindu man. So I thought, my God will, take care of this. And he said, I can help you. I can sign your paper, but I didn't give it to him. But after 3 years, I thought, if Cyrus, the Persian king in Bible, Cyrus can, help Nehemiah to go build the wall around Jerusalem. And then, Ezra, he sent Ezra to build the temple. So the help came from, heathens. So I thought maybe this is the way God can help also. So I gave him the paper and he signed it. And then it went to the office, government office.
So we got to round up the stories, and we want people to read the book.
It's coming.
You can't.
It's coming end. So this is very important for the people to realize. Then I didn't get any answer from them. But one day when it was 2:00 at night, no, I was taking my devotion that day. Again, God talked to me. You must go down to to Delhi. So I can't leave my job. I have a very big responsible. So if my God says, I have to trust. So I went to the principal and he said, okay, you can go. So I went there. But would you believe the very next day when I was there, investigation was taking place from Indian government. Is there a girl called Salma Carunia in this house? The man who signed my paper put his property on my name, because India, you have to have property to go abroad and to make a passport. So that man came and I was there, but who told me to go there? Yesterday, God told me, go to, Delhi. Oh, that is a miracle. God speaks to you, And then after I had my passport made, I couldn't get my visa. So that's now in Americans' hands. So American embassy said, ma'am, you are single, you can't go. I said, I'm a nun, I'm going there to study, in missionary college. I would like to, so they wouldn't do it. Then after some times, when I was sleeping one day, it was October. The school already started September over here that I was accepted. But October, one day, 2:00 in the morning, I heard my name called Salma. So I woke up and went to the dormitory to check the kids whether they are okay, because I'm responsible for the night duty also. But everybody was sleeping, so I went back to my bed. I said, God, did you call me? Because children would call me Auntie Salma. It was just Salma. And then I went to bed. I had a dream that I was showing everybody, I got visa. And that day I went to staff room for tea. It's a British kingdom, so we had tea at 4:00. So 20 of our staff was sitting, and everybody was asking me, we are sad that you couldn't get visa. So I said, this morning God has told me it's on its way. And then I just finished my sentence. Mailman walked inside and gave everybody their mail. And he gave me a white envelope. And everybody fixed their eyes on me, said, what is it? What is it? Open it. And I said, I need peace. So when I open it, it says, visa guaranteed from Washington, D.C., India desk. Wow. Who can do this? This is intervention of God. No man can do it. And my passport now, I see that I couldn't renew Indian passport again because they said there is no guarantor signature. But how did I get it? God signed it. Daniel was able to read the writings on the wall. But my passport has, white empty space where there is guarantor. God has signed it. No one can read it. So this is the way, God led me over here. Now I met my husband in Puerto Rico, where I was doing my internship from Bethany missionary training in Minneapolis. And we married, and, we went to China to teach English, and he went to Scotland. He went to Wheaton College and learned the Christian theology and wrote 8 books, how Darwin failed to tell the truth. Then first he said, clay supper, confession of a born-again Christian. I'm going to publish that next because it's getting prepared to be published. So I have more books coming to help people, from addiction and all sorts of things. There is only one God, and there's only one life to live. It will pass soon. Only what's done for Jesus will last. And I would say, each day I do a golden deed of helping those who are in need. Our life on earth is short and span. Each day I do the best I can. Life's evening sun is sinking low. A few more days and I must go. Where? To meet the deeds that I have done, where there will be no setting sun. So this is why Christ is in us, the hope of victory. And I am 80 years old, and today I was watching the Cardinals, marching into the Sistine Chapel, right in front of the painting of Michelangelo's The Last Judgment. And I was reminded this verse. It is appointed to the man once to be born and to judgment. So I still says, Christ is in me, the hope of glory. I'm 80 years old and learn to forget those things which are behind. I press towards the goal, which is Jesus Christ, the author and the finisher of my faith. So Christ is in me, the hope of glory. Victory belongs to the Lord.
There you go. All right. Well, this has been pretty interesting. So give people the .coms on where they can pick up your book and get to know you better.
Salma, Carunia, and drbenmcarter.com.
There you go. There you go. Well, thank you very much, Salma, and sharing your story online and how you found faith and how it changed your life. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you. Order the book, folks, wherever fine books are sold. It is called Christ is in Me, The Hope and Glory, Victory, the Autobiography of Salma Carunia Carter, out December 5th, 2024. Thanks for tuning in. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you guys next time. There you go.